What's up, everybody? Welcome to Are You Down with LPT, the podcast where agents like you share their stories, experiences, and insights to help each other level up and thrive. In every episode, we're diving deep into the real-life challenges, wins, and lessons from the front lines. Whether you're a seasoned pro or just getting started, this is the place to connect, learn, and grow together. So, if you're ready to get down with LPT and take your game to the next level, let's jump in. Welcome back to Are You Down with LPT, and today I'm joined by Blake Newton with now Newton Insurance, and has nothing to do with the city of Newton. I think we want to, nothing that there's anything wrong with the city of Newton.
Of course. No, I'm always looking for sponsors, though, so if the city of Newton wants to join in.
Yeah. Great. I mean, you will sell insurance in the city of Newton.
Yes.
I remember we were talking to somebody once. They're like, so you only work in Newton, or, and that's not true.
No, contrary to popular belief, it is not true. But I do business in every single corner of Iowa, and my office is based in West Des Moines. So that's where my primary headquarters is, but anyone who needs a quote anywhere,
you're there.
I'll be there.
You are the man for all the people in the state of Iowa when it comes to insurance.
That is the goal,
yes. Yeah. So let's get to know you a little bit. For those that haven't met you, just a little background and how you got into insurance.
Yeah, of course. So originally from the south side of Des Moines, then in 2012 went to the University of Iowa, met my wife there, and then we moved back to Des Moines in 2016, and then now we live in Urbandale with our daughter Sienna.
Yeah.
And then ever since I graduated from the University of Iowa, I've been in customer service roles in the insurance industry. And it's always been all right, just not quite my cup of tea. Always wanted to get into sales, but then in 2019, the opportunity presented itself for me to open up my own captive insurance agency completely from scratch, which was scary at the time, no doubt. But once I actually started taking actions to grow a business and actually every day making progress towards a goal, and then there's massive uncertainty. There's a lot of stress that comes with it, but it's exciting because every day you're failing forward. I'm not failing every day, but,
all right.
But there's definitely some days, some terrible, awful, no good, terrible, horrible, terrible days.
Yeah.
But the beauty is that every single day I am falling forward in some capacity. I'm learning something. It's taught me something to grow, to become a better business owner, to become a better manager, and a better leader for my staff.
Yeah, and I failing forward, whatever you want to call it, I think that's good stuff. I don't know that you probably fail every day, but I think we probably learn most from those times we do, and whether it's in leadership, you starting a company. You have how many employees? We can get into this later, but.
Yeah, of course. So I have 4 full-time employees right now, 3 service people, and then 1 sales guy.
Yeah. So, I mean, we're in a similar role where, we have employees, but we also work with consumers. And, every day we kind of got to balance those things about leading and managing, and then also taking care of those clients and consumers that come in, right?
Exactly. I could not have said it better myself.
Yeah. Well, most people can't. Blake, so that's
he's making me blush. Come on.
So you've built a strong reputation. I don't remember when I first connected with you. It's been a couple of years for sure, but you have built a strong reputation, especially amongst the real estate community. What originally drew you, to whether it be insurance, and I know people don't like when their childhood dream is probably not to become an insurance agent, but what drew you to that, and how did you go about building that reputation, especially in the real estate industry?
Yeah, of course. So insurance is not the most inherently exciting thing for most people, and I totally get it. I'll be the first one to admit it. But the thing with me is that I've always been a sales and business guy, so whether I was selling knives or toaster ovens or hats, I'd still be the happiest guy around. I'd still be at peace.
Yeah.
So insurance was just... It was a natural progression for me, and when you realize the possibilities of insurance, how they always tell you that everything's uncapped, but it truly is.
Yeah.
So you're the master of your own destiny, especially financially, and then just having that autonomy, that control over what I do every day, and not being micromanaged by anybody.
Yeah.
It was a breath of fresh air.
Yeah. So, before we kind of jump into your company, outside of work, anything you love to do? You talked about your wife and daughter, but, what drives you outside of work?
Yes. Trying new restaurants, trying new cocktail lounges, that is definitely one of my top things. So me and my wife, we spend too much money for sure eating out, and it's a work in progress. Slowly but surely, we're getting to a point where we're going to cook at home more, but we're foodies to our core, so it's tricky.
Yeah.
But in addition to that, you will always catch me trying to find a game of pickup basketball or watching the fights, MMA specifically, not really boxing, but MMA. So those two. So when I'm not trying out new restaurants or working, quite frankly, or doing those other two things, then I am trying to spend time with my wife and daughter as much as humanly possible.
Did you play basketball in high school then?
No.
Picked it up later.
I'm more so of an intramural all-star in college.
Yeah, right.
Yes. So I was the best of the guys that could not play.
Yeah.
So
well,
whatever that's
somebody's got to be that. So
exactly. Yeah. Someone has to step up and be
play
the most
play a little one-on-one later.
For the business?
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
It's perfect.
You in?
Yes.
I don't know that my toes would allow me to do that anymore.
Yeah, my knees are shot now.
Well, we both got an excuse.
Yep.
Okay, so you starting your own company. You were with another company for a long time. I'm not sure how long that was, but you recently launched Newton Insurance. What kind of led to that decision?
Yeah, of course. So I was on the captive side with just one single carrier for the last 6 years, but the writing was on the wall where the future of the insurance world was having options. The most options for my clients, for my staff to help my clients and assist them in the best way possible. When rates went up, I would actually have somewhere else to shop, and they would still all be, A+ rated 5-star carriers, so that you weren't saving money but getting a lesser policy or lesser service from that carrier. Mm-hmm. And the independent side checked all the boxes. Complete ownership of the book was incredibly attractive as well. Plus, the independence to run my operation exactly how I saw fit, to market myself the way that I believed I should be able to.
Billboards. I've seen you on some billboards, right?
Oh, yes. The billboards. The billboard, hey, there's great for social media, for sure.
Yeah.
But when it comes to actual business, that's... we'll get into a different podcast.
Yeah. What are some of the challenges or maybe surprises that you've encountered making that move to starting your own firm?
Yeah, sure. So the one of the things that goes unsaid, people just don't realize about starting your own business completely from scratch. When you're with a big company, they do supplement a lot of the cost, especially when it comes to auditing, compliancy. Technology costs, all that gets subsidized by them usually, but when you're on the independent side, all that comes out of your pocket. So now I become my own IT guy, I become my own HR department, my own auditing people. Well, I had to hire my own auditing and compliance department completely separate. So then they're basically just contracted with me, and then they look over my books every month and just make sure that everything stays in order.
Yeah.
But other than that, I knew a lot of the struggles and the challenges were going to be similar to what I dealt with, so it was an easy transition. Getting the carrier contracts, that took some time because it's a bunch of different companies I have to have these partnerships with.
So you had to go out and seek those as an independent brokerage?
So I have a broker that helps me facilitate that.
Oh, okay.
So instead of taking 3 to 6 months, it only took 1 to 2 months.
Oh, interesting. Yeah.
But for someone who's as impatient with me as trying to write business,
right?
exactly.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
But it all worked out perfectly, and I was up and running in less than a week later from my old company.
Yeah. Well, congratulations. I know it's no small task. We've undertaken it and kind of been down the same road. What vision for Newton Insurance? As it relates to clients and agent partners. I said at the beginning, but you've become a name within the real estate industry, which is not common for insurance agents. So, congratulations on that, I think.
Thank you.
So vision, I guess, for your company.
Yeah, of course. The biggest thing is that I want the Newton Insurance Group to be top of mind for every single business owner, real estate agent, anyone in the mortgage or lending industry, whether it's commercial or residential, all property management companies. I want to be first and foremost when they think of insurance. Plus, I do pride myself, as we've talked about many times over the last years, about my responsiveness, and then just being someone that they know they can call, they could text quite literally 24/7 to diagnose an issue, to guide them accordingly, or even if they just want to grab a drink, grab dinner, lunch, coffee, it does not matter. Being someone that is just maybe not their best friend, but a very good friend.
Yeah.
So my goal is to have that relationship with my clients and all of my partners, and so far so good.
Yeah. Well, you've done a great job on it, so I commend you for that.
Thank you.
Anything that's been super rewarding? I know the company started, 2 months ago or 3 months ago?
3.5 months ago.
3.5 months ago. Anything that's, been rewarding so far in that 3.5 month journey?
Yes. There's so many deals, especially big commercial deals with a lot of moving parts, a lot of complexity that I've actually been able to take on. So many business owners I had to turn down over the last 6 years because I just didn't have the product selection to actually help these people. But now I have almost every product under the sun, and for a competitive rate too. So it's the best of both worlds. So being able to help more people than I ever thought imaginable has been incredibly rewarding.
Yeah, that's awesome. Congratulations on that. So let's talk insurance and real estate. It's thrilling stuff, but we run into it. They even changed our, purchase agreement, here in a few months ago, and to highlight it more because it has become an issue. And so for real estate agents in the past, for me, it was just kind of something like, really wasn't worried about it. And now it's becoming more of a focal point, more of something that agents need to sit down, really think about. And so I just want to, talk through a couple of those things. But insurance has become a huge piece of real estate lately, especially as rates have gone up, because rates have gone up, not only interest rates going up, but insurance rates have gone up. And it seems to me, and you correct me if I'm wrong, but there's fewer carriers in the state than there were before. And it seems also that homes are just maybe a little harder to insure than before. And again, correct me if I'm wrong on any of that, but what's going on that's causing all that?
Yeah, of course. So the underwriting guidelines have definitely become much more strict. They used to accept, years ago, roofs that were 30 years old, then it became 25, then it became 20, then it became 15 for a lot of them, and then there's some carriers that won't take anything over 10, which, being from the south side of Des Moines, a lot of houses, the roofs are a little bit over 10 years old, so it makes it tricky sometimes. But having the options now to be able, if someone has a wood-burning stove, I have carriers that will take that on and not maybe have such a crazy surcharge. One of the biggest things too is houses that are very far from a fire station that have a high fire class code. There's carriers that they don't specialize in necessarily, but they will take it on and not give an outright denial or crazy surcharge. But along with the weather being incredibly unpredictable, and it's just gotten worse. Lord knows what's causing it right now, but all I know is that it has caused the rates to go up because the last 5, 6, 7 years have had some of the... It's been
a lot
the
of
worst.
natural disasters, right? And not just, it's all over, right? And so that impacts us, unfortunately, in Iowa.
Yep, exactly. And there's carriers, that are in the Midwest, but then if there's something that happens in Nebraska or Missouri, especially the derecho that happened here in Iowa, that affects everyone's rates.
Yeah.
And then carriers have to pull out of the state because they've lost so much money and they just couldn't be solvent anymore to stay around in case another derecho happened, and then it would really spell bad news for everyone.
Yeah. So as a real estate agent, I'm talking to clients and just thinking about, rising rates and all these issues we're having. Like, how do we set right expectations with clients in this current market?
Yes. I would definitely put more of an emphasis on the roof a year. Having some kind of paper trail would be very helpful. It's not necessary every single time, but just having some kind of documentation to corroborate it. If you could kind of work with, if you're a buyer's agent, working with the seller's agent to make sure that you have your ducks in a row. Also ensuring that the piping, the wiring is not ultra old. There's not knob and tube wiring or something very outdated like that. So
could I still get coverage with, because this is something that comes up, knob and tube, I don't say often, but it does come up, and like, well, you can't get insurance, you can get insurance. Can you get insured if you have it?
It's possible. It's unbelievably difficult.
Yeah.
And like I said, I think there's some specialty carriers that might allow it. Like I said, with my new companies, I haven't ran to that yet, but once I do and I find out exactly how we could tackle it, if we can, you guys will be the first to know.
Okay, all right. Well,
Yes.
fingers crossed. We'll look for that, because we do, and knob and tube should probably be updated, but sometimes sellers maybe aren't willing to. Buyers still want the house, and we're trying to figure out a solution, to make it work. So that's one instance. You brought up roofs. I do want to talk about roofs, because this seems to be maybe the biggest issue that we run into on insurance. And I don't know, how do we get to that point where now roof is such a focal point? You talked about a minute ago, or 30, and then 25, 20, and now 15 or 10.
Yep.
Like, how to get to that?
In the end, I don't blame them necessarily, but maybe insurance actuary departments and the people that create the rates, they blame the storm chasers and the roofing companies that just kind of go door to door and then force them necessarily, but ask them to file a claim and then kind of go through see that process through. Maybe when it's not completely necessary, especially after a crazy storm, that's when they're all out. So unnecessary claims have kind of led to it as well. Plus, the cost of roofing materials has skyrocketed as well. Mm-hmm. So the it might have been $25,000 before. Now it could be $35,000. The extra $10,000 compounded over hundreds of thousands of clients equals a lot more money that the insurance company has to pay out. But now now that it's cost more to replace them, the claims adjusters, or not really claims adjusters, but the underwriters are looking for any discoloration. If it's non-fire resistant, like maybe it's wood shake or wood shake shingles, those are definitely things that will get surcharged or just denied outright. Yeah. If there's shingles all flipped up, they are absolute sticklers about it nowadays.
Do you think this is a new normal, or do you think there'll be an improvement on it, or just, hey, this is life now?
I think it's life now. I think it's decades of us operating the same way, and now it's just all kind of coming to fruition right now. It's just a shame that it has to be in conjunction with inflation as well, where things are getting more expensive and it's getting more difficult, which is not the most ideal combination.
Yeah. We as agents, we need to probably get used to it, because it used to be like, oh, I can figure out what insurance is and plug it in, and that doesn't seem to be the case now. Like, if numbers are tight for a client, I better figure out a solution, before we start going down that road. And have you found in Des Moines, at least, are there any homes or certain areas that are more challenging than others, or does that matter?
Yes, especially in Des Moines. Well, the one issue that I've kind of ran into are houses built before 1900s. So if there's an 18 and then whatever the next two numbers are, those types of houses are very difficult to insure, especially because those houses too are usually 2 stories, over 2,500 square feet. So the replacement cost is ultra high. There's a good chance that maybe it's been maintained okay, but a lot of times, not that maybe has knob and tube wiring, but there's just certain features of the house that just haven't been updated or kept in well of condition as they should have. So that makes it more difficult, especially when there's exterior and interior inspections that these insurance companies are doing nowadays. So you can't really hide anything from them now, because they will look thoroughly through the inside and outside. And if there's something that just doesn't quite make sense, like a wood burning stove that wasn't disclosed, or if there's a concrete porch where it's just like over 13 inches, but then there's no handrails, they will call that out. But it helps to have a local guy like myself to help navigate that.
Yep.
And, coach the client on how we can make this work for the underwriters so that we can get them the coverage that they need.
I think that's a great lead into what I want to talk about next. But okay, you're not only local, but you are very responsive. You've got great communication. And I think for us as agents to have a partner in the insurance space that does get back to us right away, that does know what he's talking about, that is local, like those are all wins. And I always would highly recommend you for agents looking for that connection. And a lot of times as agents, it probably falls on lenders as much as maybe more than us. But I would encourage agents, okay, start taking an initiative on that. Find someone. I was at a closing not that long ago. We sat down and the lender looked sad and like, have you seen this? I'm like, no, what is it? And they were paying $4,000 a year on a house that's 10 years old for insurance. And it was a $300,000 house in Bondurant. I'm like, that.
Stop the madness.
Yeah, that's exactly right. And so, I think as agents and as professionals, like it is an area where we've probably not spent a lot of time in the past. We probably need to start spending a little more time. But one of the things I love about you is you're responsive, you know what you're talking about, and, very competitive, and usually can probably beat anybody on rates as well. So as you think about that, why do you make that kind of responsive such a priority?
No, thank you for all that. Hey, I appreciate it. So if it's not known, now it's going to be known. Iowa, and especially Des Moines, is the insurance capital of the world. Mm-hmm. So the competition is fierce. There's a massive abundance of insurance guys, we all think that we have the secret sauce, that we are better than each other, which is how we should think, because then we're able to give the client the best experience possible. But one thing that I found is that a lot of them, their communication, it's good, but it's not great. And that great communication nowadays is what gets deals done in a timely manner. Plus, it doesn't hold up the process, especially when you're buying a house, because there's been countless issues where their current insurance guy it's taken 2-3 days to get a quote back. And then closing gets delayed. And then now the realtor gets mad, now the lender gets mad. And then most importantly, though, the client is upset because it's a quote that takes 10 to 15 minutes. That's now taking 2 to 3 business days. And then don't even want to get into the insurance guys that don't work on the weekends. I'm like, you don't have to work 8 hours, but maybe 1 or 2 hours at night after your wife and daughter go to sleep. I'm definitely talking about myself right now. But
right.
It's a small price to pay, but I know that, like I said, I'm making progress with every step that I take. So that responsiveness it goes in conjunction with my entrepreneurial spirit and making sure that things get done in a timely manner and having that reputation, because it does help my business in the end, being that responsive.
Yeah. We talked about it already, but rates are going up. They've gone up on insurance, and those small changes can impact our clients' monthly payments. And so I go back to appreciate, open communication with agents and lenders and insurance agents. I think they need to start that early in the process so they know what they're looking at for numbers. Would you say that's accurate?
Yes. Of course, I'm a little bit biased, but yes, absolutely. At least just even if you're looking at 3 or 4 different homes, one might be out in Timbuktu, Iowa. One might be right in Waukee.
Yep.
Just giving me a call and asking me how these rates might look. You can send me the information, or the client can, and then I can at least run you quotes. That way you're going into the negotiations with the exact insurance numbers. Plus, I can run flood insurance quotes as well, and some lenders require that. So knowing what the flood insurance is in conjunction with the home insurance, that will make a huge difference on the client's monthly escrow payments. So and if it's not conducive towards their budget, that's how you know maybe it's not the house that's going to work for them right now.
I had a listing that closed a couple weeks ago, but we were under contract for 60 days, and they were still battling the insurance part right up to closing. And, it's one, as an agent, we need to get onto it, as I said, right away, even prior to writing offers, know where we're at, all that good stuff. So, like I said, Blake is amazing at response time. He's amazing, get you an answer very quickly. You've been an amazing partner, and I appreciate all that. So if agents want to connect with you, what's the best way to find you other than those bulletin boards out there?
Yeah, no, of course. So my website's been live and active for the last 3.5 months, literally since I started. So this is going to be complex. Are you ready?
Yeah.
BlakeNewtonInsurance.com.
Yeah, after.
Or my cell phone number, so 515-803-6088. Or you can find me on social media, Facebook, LinkedIn, Google even. I am pretty much everywhere. So
Yep.
I make it purposely hard to not be able to find me.
That's how it's supposed to be. So.
Exactly.
All right, before we let you go, a few questions here.
Sure.
Biggest insurance myth you wish everyone understood?
Yeah. It does not cover everything, contrary to popular belief. If there's a flood, one of the biggest misconceptions about flood insurance or just water coming in, the way I've always explained it is that if the water is stemming from the outside coming in, unless it's like a broken glass from the actual storm, then there's a chance for it to be covered. But usually flood insurance will cover that. If it's water that's stemming from the inside of the house and then coming up and then damaging the foundation or the structure of it, then that's usually when home insurance can step in if the coverage is available there. Mm-hmm. But normal wear and tear, natural deterioration, erosion, that stuff is not covered. And when people buy these houses that are a little bit on the older side, those issues do come into play from time to time.
Yep. Most surprising thing you've ever seen in a claim?
I've been lucky enough to have a lot of rock star clients in my career so far, but there are clients that I've inherited where they will file a mysterious disappearance claim, like a watch, and then the claims adjuster sends me a photo of them from their Facebook showing that he's wearing the watch that he claimed was missing. So yeah. It's stuff like that. That happened once early in my career, but I was like, it was an inherited client. Yeah, and I was like, you could deny the claim. It's not. It's you guys, and I don't blame you guys for doing so because I don't really want to deal with people like that.
Yeah,
either.
No kidding. You talked about you guys like to go out, happy hour, all that good spot. Any maybe it can be both, but favorite place to go out, restaurant, or favorite happy hour spot in Des Moines? One or other or both?
Yeah, of course. Best coffee spot to me, St. Kilda Collective in Valley Junction. Best happy hour spot, I think anyone that knows me knows that I would say Winchester Pub in Valley Junction.
I've been to Winchester Pub a few times with you, yeah.
Oh, yeah, exactly. Yeah. Republic on Grand is another good one if that doesn't work. Best restaurants, and we were just there last night, Harbinger.
Oh, yeah. Not been there yet, but I've heard good things.
Highly, highly recommend whenever you get a chance right there on Ingersoll.
Yep.
So.
Yep. Walked by it once, but did not go in.
You were missing out then. Next time.
Soon. Mm-hmm. If you weren't in insurance, and intramural basketball all-star can't be the answer here, but if you weren't in insurance, what would you be doing?
No, that's a great question too. I used to think early in my career I would have been in real estate, just because I've always kind of liked the glitz and glamour of the real estate world, and being able to scale super quickly in real estate is a lot easier than it is in insurance. But now, as I get more into the business aspect of things, being a partner in like a private equity firm or like a trader for a hedge fund, that is exactly what I would want to do, because if and when insurance does cease for me, being a business consultant and being able to just diagnose the issues of businesses and how to be more efficient, and most importantly, seeing what's wrong with businesses and how to avoid that is my game. Yeah. I love that. I listen to podcasts while I'm in the shower, while I'm driving, while I'm in my office. That is all you'll ever hear, and my staff probably gets sick of it. But
yeah, that's awesome. Hey, you're not that old, and you've got a lot of life left in you. So who knows where that leads you, right?
Exactly. But insurance for at least the next decade or two.
Yeah.
Yep.
You never know, Blake. You never know.
You're absolutely right.
BlakeNewtonInsurance.com is where they're going to find you. One more time. Cell phone one more time.
Sure. Cell phone number is 515-803-6088. Call or text me quite literally 24/7. I will be there.
Yeah. Blake, I appreciate you. Thanks for chatting today, and look forward to your continued success at Newton Insurance, and who knows what else, Newton Consultant someday and all that good stuff, right?
Yes, sir. It was an absolute pleasure. Thank you guys for having me, and I'm looking forward to the next one.
Thank you.
That's a wrap for today's episode of Are You Down with LPT? Thank you so much for tuning in. We hope you get some valuable takeaways to apply to your journey. New episodes drop every Friday, so make sure to subscribe so you never miss out. And hey, if you have your own story you'd like to share or questions you'd like to dive into, hit us up. Until next time, stay down with LPT and keep leveling up. Catch you in the next one.